everyone, I'm Katrina Gabrielle and I'm an intuitive therapist, an NLP master practitioner and a hypnotherapist. I work very intensively with telepathy. Kind of my speciality is telepathy, where I'm able to assess a person through a photo or the photo of a person that they would like to know better. I'm inspired to do this video today because I met 3 beautiful women this evening. They follow me on Facebook and one of them got in touch with me. I'm not going to give away any names. I don't want to be, putting anyone in the spotlight without their permission. But one of them got in contact with me and we kind of started talking, and I was explaining something. I said, look, it'll be really nice to meet you. I don't ordinarily meet people unless it's for, to do a session, because I just don't have the time to talk, But I thought it would be nice to meet her. So when we were talking about life in general. We were talking about emotions and what they were going through in their life. And I was inspired to do this video because I think so many other women would benefit from understanding, not just women, but men too. They'd be having a better understanding about where they are and who they are. And when she asked me something about her relationship, I told her that she was confused, whether it's the right person, whether it's going to work out. And I said to her that if you truly don't know who you are as a person, as a being, you're going to find it really difficult to be sure of who you want in your life. Because I think the first aspect of being an adult is to know yourself on a deep level. And I think too many of us go through life thinking that they know, who they are and what they want in life. But I think the majority of people know themselves on a surface level. And very few people have the desire, or they may have the desire, but they're scared to dig deeper into themselves. And I think this is where the problem lies. I think many people kind of think they know who they are, and they really truly don't. And unless you start to work on yourself and you ask questions about yourself to yourself, you're not going to really know what you're all about. So this video is about searching your soul, wanting to know what turns you on, what turns you off, what you like, what you dislike. And perhaps by asking those questions for yourself, you begin to scratch the surface. And then once you've scratched the surface, you begin to start digging deeper. Because I think our soul has a longing to know more, and life doesn't allow it, because life is in your face and life is hectic. When we have problems in our life, the last thing we want to do is dig in and find more problems, right? So I think many people avoid fully utilizing their skills, their intuitive skills, their inner selves, because they don't have the time, or they are too scared to find out maybe aspects of themselves that they don't know how to handle. And it sounds scary and it may be very daunting to dig in and find out what and who you are, because it means that if you don't like what you see, what do you do about it, right? If you start to just begin to understand yourself more, you will find even the things that were problems before will be easier to handle, because of the fact that your ability of digging in and searching for resolutions and solutions are slowly going to start coming up to the surface. So although it's a hard start to begin, it's the only place to start. It's the only place to begin. So when we were talking about a relationship this evening, she told me that she was very confused. She didn't know what to do. She wasn't sure of what the outcome was going to be with this guy that she'd been seeing and she'd known for quite a few years. And I told her to take a break from the relationship, because the first thing to do when you are confused about a situation is to step back. Because the more you try and go into that aspect of the problem with your emotions, with your heart, with your mind, with your analysis, the harder it gets, because you're attached to the outcome. You have a deep embedded kind of attachment to the end result. And when you have that much of a longing for what the end result is going to be, you forget the whole journey of finding out what it is that you want, because all you want is that thing at the end. And although you may think you want that, it may not necessarily be what's right for you. So when you start to kind of inquire within yourself about why you want it, the reasons behind it, you will start to find out it's very little to do with that person and more to do with fulfilling a part of you that you think you can fulfill with that person. I think that's quite often how we pick partners. We think we need them. We think they will fulfill the space, the emptiness, or something that's missing. And that is the main part where we make mistakes, because we're trying to fulfill, or we're trying to fill a space with someone else, when in fact you need to fill that space with more of what you are, more of who you are, more of what you're all about. So I told her, my advice to her was to take a month off, take a break. And the first thing she said was, he won't let me. If I want to take a break, he's not going to like it, and he's going to try and convince me to not take that break. And my advice to her there was, it's not about him. Yeah? It's not about him, it's about you. Because from what I could see in her relationship, it was her fulfilling him, her trying to make him happy, her waiting for him to make the next move. It was all about her standing still and waiting for him to make the move. And I asked her to be more proactive, because this need for a break, or this time off, was what she wanted. And I asked her, it wasn't that I was telling her to do it. She actually said that it would be a good idea, but that, he probably would persuade her not to. And this is where her authority over herself and what she wants needs to come up. He will either run and get scared about her taking a stance, or he will respect that. If he does one or the other, then she will know whether he is the person who's going to be the right partner for her. Because it's too often that I see women, especially, it happens with men too, but women especially, where they are too scared to do something that they want to do because it won't be taken in a good way by the other person. And it wasn't a full analysis about the relationship. I didn't take a look at his picture. I don't know what his name is, so I didn't connect with him directly the way I do when I do a session. It was just a conversation about her. So how does she handle that? Or how does anyone handle, not particularly her, but anyone, how do you handle when you want something in a relationship and the other person doesn't agree to it? I would say the most important thing to remember is to understand that you matter. It's a relationship is of course a two-way thing. You've got to compromise in certain areas, in many areas, where you both need to be happy with what you each are doing within the relationship. But most importantly, if you're not happy doing something his way or her way, you need to make a stand and stick to your decision about wanting to do certain things in your way. So how do you tackle it if you want to do something and the other person doesn't want you to do that? You have to weigh up what it is and how important it is to you. And it goes with everything in life. Too often we look out for other people, their feelings, what they want, what makes them comfortable, what will keep them happy. And it's not often that we think about ourselves, and that's not the right way to go, because you cannot have a happy, sustainable relationship if you're simply looking out for the other person. Who's looking out for you? Because what happens so often is the other person gets used to his partner doing everything by his book. There's always give and take. There's always looking out for the other person. There's always caring and sharing. But if it's tilted one way more often than not, you need to correct that. And it's so important to honor your own feelings first before you honor somebody else's. It doesn't have to be in a selfish way. It has to be in a caring way, and it has to be for the good for the both of you. Because remember, if you're not happy in the relationship, you cannot make somebody else happy. Your happiness is up to you, and how they feel, whether they're happy within themselves, is up to them. It's not your job to make somebody else happy. I am always of the mind that somebody else cannot fulfill you ever. They're there to be a bonus. They're there to be the topping. I describe it as baking a cake. You have to be the whole cake. You have to be the eggs, the flour, the butter, the sugar. And you have to be the important ingredients within yourself. And we all need people around us. We all need lovers and friends and husbands and wives. But they should be there to enhance you, not to fulfill you, right? Fulfillment comes from within yourself. So many people look out towards, look externally for their fulfillment. Even with material things, if I have that car, if I have that job, if I have that house, I will be happy. And I've had so many people come back and tell me, I've got that job, I've got that car, I've got the dream home, I'm still not happy. It's because they were looking externally for their happiness and their fulfillment. Once you find that fulfillment within yourself, everything that comes into your life, everything good that comes into your life is a bonus. So it's the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on top. And if you always keep in mind that your happiness, your peace, your serenity, your fulfillment can only be provided within yourself, by yourself, then you will never expect it from someone else who can let you down. And even when somebody is there to enhance your life and you can completely see that that's how it is for you, that you're completely fulfilled, and the person who is your partner makes you happy. It's not that he's making you happy, because you're happy inside already. They're adding to it. They are sprinkling all the icing on the top. They are not the cause of your happiness, but they are an addition to your happiness. So if you always keep that in mind and you always remember you are the same for them. If you change how you feel about them one day, as it could happen, you leaving them should not completely destroy them at all, because if you are there simply to make them happy, then you're enabling them to use you as a crutch and be a support for them, and they would collapse without you. It shouldn't be like, that's not a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship is you're great as you are, and it's even better when that person is with you. So you're not completely relying on them. You know, there are times you might have ups and downs, you might have a bereavement, you might have a job loss, and you need their support and extra at that time. And if they're as deeply committed as you are, they will provide that support. They will, give you that extra attention and love at times of crisis point in your life, and you will do the same for them. It's like a cooperation, really, of commitment as well, intention. That's a healthy relationship. So it's never about somebody else coming into your life and making you feel whole. We need to look within ourselves and find out who we truly are and become whole all by ourselves, and not become whole because some other person has come into our life. So, a short video just about thoughts and the conversations that we had this evening with these lovely people that we met tonight. And hopefully I'll be able to come back and touch on some other aspects, some other topics another time. Thank you for listening. Please share if you feel that it will help someone else in your life. Take care. Bye.